Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. First off, I want to give thanks and glory and praise to my Father in heaven, Yah, and my Redeemer, Yahshua. I want to do a little Bible study this morning on Revelation, because I believe we're in the time of Revelation. Revelation's what it used to be, but that's beside the point. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day, but I believe we're getting close to the end. I don't really know if anything transpired this morning on the eclipse or whatever, I believe it has significant meaning, though, for the Antichrist. But I want to go in here to the rider on the white horse in Revelation chapter 6, because you hear everyone saying it's the Antichrist, it's Antichrist, it's Antichrist. Now, y'all have heard me always say there's a plus and a minus. So there's a real of Yah and a counterfeit of Satan, but I believe this in Revelation 6, it's describing the rider on the white horse as what you have to look at in Revelations is everything some things are judgment that is not evil, like in when the flood happened. That was judgment that came on the people that didn't accept Noah's invitation or God's invitation into the ark. So, but when you read the Bible, I think it's in 2 Timothy, study to show thyself approved. But anyway, hey, can y'all please hold for a second? Sorry about that. Somebody's horn was going off, and I thought it might have been mine. But anyway, okay, I want to read the scripture here. Whenever you read first off, I want to go over here and read something about finding the truth of scripture. It's not just the King James Bible. If you just read the scripture, I mean, if you follow it, you'll get salvation. You'll receive salvation because it has the plan of salvation in it. But if you want to get to the truth of the script, the scriptures that you're looking at, you're reading, then you have to go into the root words of some of them, because you'll never understand it unless you go to the root of the words. But I want to read this little what this theologian John Nolan likewise notes that pearls at that time had a greater value than they do today. And thus it has a similar theme to its partner, the parable of the hidden treasure. Nolan comments that it shares with the parable of the notions of good fortune and demanding action in attaining the kingdom of heaven, but adds, in this case, the notion of diligent seeking. So I believe you diligently seek the scriptures. You research the root words from the original text, the original writings. So anyway, well, I'm going to go back over here and read this scripture in Revelation 6. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals and heard, and there was a noise of thunder, one of four beasts, saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse. Okay, right here there is a colon. This could actually be, let me read what a colon means. Colon follows independent clauses that can stand alone as sentences and can be used to present an explanation, draw attention to something, or join ideas together. So when we read this, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and there's a colon, that kind of is drawing attention to just, I believe it's saying stop and see what this means first. What this, and behold, a white horse. It's giving you the idea to research that out before you go any further into the scripture. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I believe we need to do. So in this Blue Letter Bible, it has some really good tools. You can click on the tools and research each word out. So, behold a white horse. So that's where that colon was. So I'm going to go here. The words that look significant to me is white. So I'm going to go see what this white means before I go any further in this verse, because it's going to start the meaning off of what it's going to start revealing the meaning of the scripture. So this white means leukos, G3022. Now that's a form of, you might say, gematria right here, because it's attaching a number with letters right here, a word. So anyway, I'm gonna click on that and go on here. Leukos. This is the white that this writer's on. From Luke, light. Let's see what kind of light that is. This is what we need to do. It comes in 25 times in 14 unique forms. This word does in Scripture. These are from other scriptures right here. So, and it's really important sometimes that you go look at these. Like, I'm gonna click on one here, because it's giving you the same word in another scripture. In Matthew 17:2, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. So that kind of gives you an idea right there a little bit that it's the same word that's used in these other passages of Scripture. And his head and hairs were white like wool, white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. It's talking about Jesus Christ. We'll do one more here, and then I'll lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white, ready to harvest. Same word, leukos. This is how I believe you have to study Scripture to get the true meanings. The King James Strong's 3022 in the following manner, white. All right. Light, brilliant, light, bright, brilliant. Brilliant from whiteness, dazzling white, of the garments of angels and of those exalted to the splendor of the heavenly state. Shining or white garments worn on festive or state occasions. Of white garments as a sign of innocence and purity of the soul. So right there, this white is describing this type of this horse. It's this white horse is a type of a pure white horse, just like this says. That's how this is describing this white horse. And when the sentence stops with a colon, it means to emphasize, for you to emphasize on what this white means. It draws attention to this white. So right there, it's telling that this horse is of the white, of splendor of the heavenly state. Now let's go back here a little bit, and now I want to go on down here to, and he that sat on him had a bow, toxin. Let's click on that for a minute, and let's see where this comes from. Toxin is from the base of, well, I'm just going to click on it. Ticto, however you pronounce that. Anyway, what I'm saying is, what I believe here is this. People. I just don't believe people research this out. This Tico is from. Let's see what else in another scripture. what it's talking about, this Tiktu, or however you pronounce it. And knew not, this is Matthew 1:25, and knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn. In Luke 2:7, and she brought forth her firstborn. So it's talking about, and she was delivered of a child. Talking about Sarah, same word. So this is talking about a child being born, a birth process, a birthing process. And in the Revelation 12 sign, that verse is talking about a woman in pain, travailing to be delivered of her child. So I believe this is talking about this man-child that's being of the Revelation 12 sign. If that really was a sign that appeared on September the 23rd, 2017, I believe that's what this is talking about, this being delivered. So I'm saying the Revelation 12 sign is the rider, the birth of that man-child is the rider on the white horse, the pure white. I believe you have to use critical thinking. I believe you have to use, question every single word to get down to the truth. It's like finding the pearl of great price. You've got to work to get the original meanings out of it. And when you do, it makes you more free to know the truth. And I want to make a comment here, because I know a lot of people think I'm hard-lined or whatever. No, I'm not hard-lined in a sense of I want to take as many people to heaven with me as I can, and God says the truth will set you free. His word, his truth will not return unto you void. So however that truth is presented to you, now I'm saying try to have the right spirit about it, which sometimes I know that I don't present the truth in the right spirit, because I used to tell a couple of people in my family, I said it forever, you try to use common sense and better judgment, because y'all's judgments you're not thinking before you make a decision, And I wasn't being mean. I was just wanting them to do truth, because the truth is the only thing that's going to get us into God's kingdom. And if I present it in a way that, well, I'll just put it like this. The Scottish Rite Freemasons, I went to the dentist, and the Scottish Rite Freemasons had got to the dentist. I didn't know I was going to kind of a new governmentally owned dentist, So anyway, I get in there, and they give me a shot on one side of my mouth, but I could still feel my tongue, half my tongue, part of it was numb, but I could still feel it, and I could still move it where I needed to or whatever. And after it was over, the helper there, the dentist assistant, first she asked me, said, "Can you move your tongue? It's in the way." And I'm thinking, ma'am, I feel my tongue. It's where I haven't moved it, And after they got through, she said, "Boy, you sure have a strong tongue." And because she was put up to saying that, and that ain't all that happened there. But anyway, they'll reap what they sow pretty soon. These Scottish Rite Freemasons, and but anyway, I want to go on with this right here, because sometimes I get to ranting about things. But anyway, okay, it's talking about a birthing, it's talking about it's got this sentence has got something to do, this white and this verse has got something to do with a birthing, and there's a man-child coming to go forth conquering and to conquer, and it's not the Antichrist, because you can go and see, why would God let an Antichrist ride a horse of pure splendor, of heavenly estates, of purity? Why would God put a Antichrist on describing that white horse? Why would God mix that? Let a man ride on that white horse that is of the Antichrist, because that white denotes and it explains that horse is of pure white light. So why would God mix that? He separated the darkness he separated the light from the dark. So why would he go back and put that back on there? This is of judgment coming to this white horse rider, all the riders of the white horse. All the four horse riders are judgment. They're not evil, they're judgment coming. Like, why would Satan on one of the horses has a pair of scales in his hand? Do you think Satan cares about scales, having a pair of scales in his hand? No. He's wanting everybody. He don't care about scales, about measuring and getting, I know it don't really mean that, but you just think about the rider on, I think it's the black horse, that's got the scales in his hands. Would Satan go to that trouble? No. He would not go to that trouble to carry a pair of scales. He's going all out for your soul. He's going all out for my soul. He's going all out for every soul he can get. He cares nothing about carrying a set of scales, and this is how I think about when I read these scriptures about these four horsemen. These are horsemen of judgment, not evil. There's a difference between judgment and evil. And that's what you critically ask yourself, critically think, and question every single word that in scriptures like this or any scripture. Go to the base root words of them and see where they're coming from. But anyway, this chpt is to bring forth, to produce from the seed. That's bloodline. That's what it's talking about there, because everything's a seed. Of a woman giving birth, of the earth bringing forth its fruits, and to bear and bring forth. So it's talking about this toxin is coming from the base of a woman travailing in birth or giving birth in the process of pregnancy. I guess is a way to put it. And let's see here what this says. chpt, a strengthened form of primary, which is used only as alternate in certain senses, to produce from a seed as a mother. Bear, be born, bring forth, be delivered, be in travail. And that's what Revelation chapter 12 says. Let me go over there to that right quick. Revelation 12. And let's read that. Let me read that scripture right quick. And she, Revelation 12:2, and she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. Let me go on down here just a little further. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and cast them on the earth. And a dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And this is what I believe that this white horse rider is. Let me go. I want to do something here right quick. Y'all just please bear with me for a minute. And okay, I'll show you something here. What this iPad goat. They're telling
You
you.
now own 1 square foot.
Okay, here on iPad Goat 2, when this first starts, I got a slow internet connection, so y'all please bear with me just for a minute. When this first starts, it comes on here, it shows the eclipses and all this kind of stuff, but when this goat starts Satan is allowed to change time, to change time and laws. Right there, he is saying that, I mean, I don't like using this, but it's part of Satan's plan. He comes out and they're saying that the scripture says Satan will think to change time and law. So he's going counterclockwise, and actually what he's saying is that I'm going to change time and laws, but also that when you watch this film, you have to jump back and forth in time, because that's what they're doing. They're jumping back and forth in time, like this. They're going to give you a part of the future, then they're going to go back to the past a little bit. That's kind of like the Bible in a way sometimes, like this white horse rider. I don't know if I made that very clear or not, but hopefully I did. But anyway, let's go back here to toxin from the base of 5088. A bow, apparently as the simplest fabric. A bow. A lot of people says this is a bow and arrow. The rainbow is talking about a turban. I believe it's talking about a turban on this person's head, because the turban used to be called a bow on the little child. When a child was born, they would wrap his head with a turban, and of like Middle Eastern descent, or all in those areas, they have something on their head. Those used to be called bows, and I believe that's what this is talking about, describing this man on the white horse, his bloodline, where he's coming from, whose bloodline he's from, whether he's in that country or not. Like some people say, the Antichrist is the Assyrian. Okay, so automatically people think, well, he's going to come from Syria. No, he's going to come from a bloodline. He may not be from Syria. He may be from the United States, USSR. It's talking about a bloodline, because you can still be an Assyrian and live in the United States. You can still be an Assyrian and be born in the United States. So when the Bible talks about, says these words, the Bible means seeds. God says everything is a seed. So a seed it reproduces one after the other, like the other, like mother, like daughter. This is the way I believe you need to think about the scriptures, and God's ways are not our ways. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. So we have to try to think and pray and ask God, help us to think your ways. Help us to interpret scripture your ways, how you meant for them to be interpreted. So that's what I'm saying, is that this white horse rider is not the Antichrist that this scripture is talking about. Now, I think Satan will have it a counterfeit, but it don't tell it really here in this Bible. I think these four horsemen of our judgment, they're not of evil, they're of judgment. And there's a whole lot of difference in that, because God gives everybody the opportunity. He's willing that none should perish. He's given everybody the opportunity. And I'll tell you what, I believe that from what I was growing up is in the church, that the coming of Jesus Christ has been preached for about 100 and something years. Just like the days of Noah. Noah preached 120 years that the flood was coming, and by the time the flood came, everybody had give up on it, really. So I'm saying you persevere to the end. God says you'll be given a crown if you make it till the end. You persevere. You keep pushing. No matter all the rapture dates that people's given, I don't think they're bad people, because there's times that it looks like it could be the rapture, because Jesus said to look up. When you see the signs, to look up, because he's coming in the clouds. And so I'm saying persevere to that time of these harvests coming, because when you study the harvest, the Jewish and Israel, when they had the harvest over there, they were three parts of a harvest. And Jesus come teaching the parables of the harvest of the barley, the wheat, the wine, so he's teaching you that there's harvest coming. And that's how you have to interpret these scriptures, is that, well, why is he teaching about harvest? Because this harvest season's coming. I don't know how many or anything like that. I just believe in my heart that harvest are coming for the real, true followers of Jesus Christ. Because he said to look up. Every time I go outside, I look up, to see if I see any signs that might indicate that he's coming. I've got a picture of an owl I took. It's in the sky, that's in the clouds, and I'm going to post them here. Hopefully today I want to post all the pictures that I've seen that's supernatural pictures, that I've seen in the sky, on the ground, on the side of vehicles or whatever. But anyway, thank y'all for coming to my channel. There's a lot more to this study about the white horse rider, because I believe he's a Scythian. If you go research the Scythians, when you really dig down deep into the scripture, I believe it's talking about a Scythian. That's the white horse rider. His bloodline's of the Scythians, and those come from they'll have some bloodline of some of Japheth. He'll have some of that blood in him from the son of Noah, of Japheth. Probably not a lot, but these people were expert bow and arrow. I mean, they were the best. They could shoot arrows off their horse turned around backwards. They was amazing, and they built these bows and arrows. Now, the scripture does indicate some that there is a bow and arrow associated with this person, but on this white horse, the white horse rider. So maybe I'll get into. I've done a little bit on that before about this white horse rider. Will have some of the bloodline of Japheth in him, and probably not a lot, because I think he's more from the tribe of Judah than anybody. But so y'all, people should research these scriptures out. Go to the base root words of them, and it gets interesting when you really get down into this. It really gets interesting when you go to the root words, and it makes it really. You start seeing that very few teach this way and research scripture this way. You start seeing that, and it gives you a sense of. It helps your soul when you research and you start finding information that nobody's teaching, because the church world, they're deceived. They're a branch off the Vatican. Every denomination is a branch off the Vatican. And I'd heard that a long time ago, and I just wouldn't believe it, because I was programmed. It just was like, well, it don't matter, I still love the Lord, and I'm going to go to church and all this. But it does matter. It matters greatly that you know where your denomination came from, because we're at the end of time, and it's important to have the full truth of our Creator and our Redeemer. Thank y'all for coming to my channel.